Hello fellow equestrians of the horse world. I'm Nolan M Cruz. I'm here to make your life just a little bit easier. So here we go. So horse show season is just around the corner for some of us. You know, I know a lot of people are going down to Florida. I know some people are going to Germany. But even if you're not showing, or if you're just staying at home doing some schooling shows or whatever's in the area, these tips might help you. I wish I had known these things when I first started showing. Some of the things that I know now that, you know, a lot of it is common knowledge. I won't be stupid and say, you know, what I found out, this is amazing stuff that you won't hear from anybody else. No, it's pretty much just normal stuff. But if you're interested, here are 5 of my things that I think could help you, especially if it's one of your first times going to the show ring. So the first thing would be what I would suggest to do, especially for amateur riders, meaning it's their first time or first few times out at a show. You know, you haven't gone to a warm-up ring before, or the warm-up ring is crowded and you're getting a little nervous. You know, show nerves happen to the best of us. But this is one of the big things. What I would suggest is check your blind spot. Just like you're driving a car, you know, here you are, do, and then you look over your shoulder. Pretty much, that's it. It doesn't matter, you know, you have your coach seat, they're on the sideline, they're saying, you know, hey Nolan, I'll use myself as an example. Hey Nolan, you know, next time when you're ready, do a half circle, do a half pass. Well, I'm not going to just go, okay, half circle, bang, and there's somebody right on my ass. What you want to do is pretty much, there you are, you're riding, here you go. Yeah, check over your blind spot, see that nobody's there, do the turn, continue on. One of the biggest things. I was at a show this summer, and had I not checked my blind spot 3 times, I would have banged into somebody. You know, it's just better to be safe than sorry, and it will save you in the long run. So the second thing I want to talk about is kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said about checking your blind spot, which is don't get stuck following the leader. I call it follow the leader, other people call it other things, but pretty much, you know, if there's, you know, 8 people in the warm-up ring, which is kind of small, but we're just going to use that as an example. There's 8 people in the warm-up ring, and 5 or 6 of them go down the long side and go down the other end. Don't go, oh, I'm going to follow them. Honestly, just cut across the ring and stay up here. Be a bit selfish, say, this is my space, and I'll stick up here. Because chances are, especially if they aren't checking their blind spot, you don't want to set yourself up to fail. You want to use your space to the best you can. You want to get as much time as you can to warm up your horse and make him the best you can be. And that's why I would suggest, you know, just smart riding. All right. I find with beginners, especially when it's their first times out, being at a show and all that, they kind of stick together like magnets, and they kind of just follow each other around the whole ring because they are almost too nervous to actually think about warming up their horse, if they know how to warm up their horse. So for a smart way, my personal suggestion, stay back a bit. Either, you know, cut off the ring, go back to the other end. And that goes for anybody, whether it's dressage or the hunter side, or jumper side, or eventing, whatever. Use your space accordingly and actually be smart with it. This next suggestion, number 3, is something that actually happened to me when I first did my first show. I wasn't even really thinking, and as I say, when you get a whole bunch of nerves going on, it really does start to play with your head a bit, because you're going, oh crap, I gotta do this, this, and this. And for me, I was a bit arrogant and went, I don't need a reader, I know my test. When you don't have a reader, things start to play around up there. At least for me, it does. So I decided, okay, we're going down center line. You know, I got a really good trot, blah, 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 halt, salute. And I decided to salute with my whipped hand. I didn't think of much of it. First, because I wasn't really thinking. But secondly, I didn't really think it mattered. So here's the thing, don't do that. Do not salute with the whipped hand. Right? You can salute whichever hand, it doesn't matter, but just make sure your whip is not in that hand. Because I went from an 8 on my halt down to a 5 because of a whipped hand. So, big suggestion, and nobody really teaches that, which is, I think is kind of like more like common knowledge, but just putting it out there so you don't find yourself with your pants pulled down like I did in the middle of how many people, is pretty much don't do it. Don't do the whipped hand salute. So the next thing has to do with the halt also. Ever since Carl and Charlotte have come over from England, they have made mention, upon other words, that, you know, halt is easy marks. You know, get a square halt, you're good to go. And, you know, most people don't really care about the halt but it is easy marks. But sometimes now we are getting so focused on the halt to get square. Get a square halt, you're good to go, you got good marks. We get so focused on it that we actually screw ourselves a bit. Because what we find ourselves doing is trying to manipulate a bit to make it a square halt, and we still get a 5 from it. Because instead of coming in and going boom, boom, halt, it's done, we're immobile for 3 to 5 seconds, instead we are kind of, excuse my language, but dicking around for a bit, trying to just make it halt and square. My next suggestion is, does not matter if it's square or not. If you have the choice, yes, get all of it. Get a square immobile halt. That's what you want. That's what we're going for. But if you have to choose square halt or immobile for 3 to 5 seconds, go for immobility. That is the big thing. All right, that'll get you better marks than a square halt in itself. Go for immobility. If you can get a square halt and immobility, yes, we want that. That's what we want. But if you can only have one or the other, choose immobility. You will get better marks for that. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about, number 5, is accuracy. You can win your class on accuracy alone. All right? You're going to go to these shows, you're going to see big dressage horses with lofty movements and extensions to die for. They're going to have trots that you kind of go, they're passaging in the trot. How am I supposed to get the judge to look at me? You can do it. You can bring your thoroughbred in, you can bring your, you know, your quarter horse. It doesn't matter. If you're accurate, you could very much take home first place and a very good mark. We get so discouraged when we walk in and we see big movers that we kind of go, well, I'm not going to win. It's very easy to do that. Don't let it happen. Honestly, put the best that horse can do, and if you have a really good judge, and most judges out there are very good, they'll see past the flashy movements, because those horses that have big flashy movements have their own problems too. All right? So don't think that just because they are, you know, out there just strutting along, that they have this in the bag. They don't. All right? Because what you're going to do is you're going to be accurate. You're going to be so accurate, it's not even funny. You're going to hit your marks. You're going to do that transition when it's asked for. You're going to do that movement from A to B. You've got this. All right? Just because they're flashy does not mean they are automatically winning. Because if you can show your horse to their best potential, that judge will turn their eye to you and go, very nice job. Trust me, I've had it happen many times. All right? So do not get discouraged. Go for accuracy. All right, that's all I got. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Maybe you have some suggestions for people who are just starting to showing. Are you going to Florida? Are you going to Germany? Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. Give this video a like, give it a comment. Hey, why not just give it a subscribe too? I'm Nolan M Cruz, and I will talk to you later. Ciao.